What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another review for Tyler Perry's Sistas Season 7, Episode 20, you guys. And there are two more episodes until the season finale, you guys. So, before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss this episode of Sisters, shall we? All right, you guys. So this episode, we open up where the last one left off, and you guys remember in last week's episode, it ended with Gary letting everyone know that Andrea Barnes is his fiance, and everybody had that look of shock on their face, right? So then we start this episode. Gary is being his typical rude self, right? He told the Hood duo that they were uninvited to the wedding, and he said, Zach, Fatima, that means you two. And I was like, excuse you? But okay, Gary, go off, right? So everybody was like, Andy, tell us that this is not true. And she was like, yes, it's true. Gary and I are back together, but mind you, Andy was shaking like a leaf the entire time, right? And she says, I need you guys to either you respect it or you don't, basically, right? So Gary, like I said, he's being an asshole. And then she was like, we just finished having Karen's baby shower. And she's like, Gary, can you go and I'll call you later? He was like, okay. He's like, call me and let me know when these banshees have left our penthouse. I was like, Gary, go to hell. But he didn't leave without saying something else smart. Because he said, Karen, congratulations to you on your menses. And I was like, you know what, Gary, it's time for you to get out of here. Because at one point, Gary, not Gary, but Rich and Zach were ready to beat him up. I was like, jump him, tear him up, right? Now, Tyler Perry, I got a little issue with you because this is the second time that you've done this with Maurice, where you use him to say a line that I know it comes from a particular YouTuber, Miss Misha. When you said speak your speech, that is her saying it. Like that is so crazy that you just take from people and don't even, you know, give any kind of credit to them or shout out to them or nothing. You just take her saying, speak your speech. But okay, I got my eye on you, Tyler. So then we see that the girls have pulled Andy into, her room to have a conversation with her. And they're asking her, like, tell us this isn't real. She's like, it's real. And basically she's just telling them like either get with it or you don't, right? But they don't really believe it. And I'm like, thank God nobody believes this. So then Andy says, like, accept it and be happy for her. But she then apologized to Karen on behalf of Gary. And Karen was like, you don't have to apologize to me for Gary. So Sabrina asked her, so were you cheating on Jordan this whole time? And Andy said, I was. And so Fatima and Karen were both like, girl, you lying. And Fatima's like, yeah, because she can't even look us in the face, right? On the outside, the guys are listening. Well, Maurice is listening. I don't know why they had this scene with Maurice, talking about, the African peen and all that kind of stuff. It was just like, it was too much. It was way too extra. I just could have done without that scene, but it is what it is, right? So Karen left with Danny. Zach left. He went downstairs. He told the guys, let Fatima know that he's downstairs waiting for her, right? Meanwhile, Fatima is still in Karen's and Andy's room, right? Because Maurice, Sabrina, and Rich, they're gonna stay behind and clean up. But like I said, Fatima is still in Andy's room, and so Fatima's asking Andy, like, I know you might not want to say whatever it is in front of the girls, but she says you and I have been through a lot of stuff when it comes to Gary. So basically, tell me what's going on with Gary. So then Andy breaks down, and she told Fatima, like, Gary is, gave me an ultimatum that if I don't marry him, he's going to ruin, Jordan's life and up to probably, eliminating him permanently. And then she told her that, Gary said that he gave $100,000 to Jordan's campaign. And so he's going to use that to his advantage. And I'm still kind of confused about that $100,000. Yes, I know he did give it to Jordan, but how does that hurt Jordan with you donating it to his campaign? It's not as if he knew that that was, money from the cartel. Like the cartel is going to want Gary to pay them back, not Jordan. I don't know. This is Tyler's show. I'm just, I think that's one of the things that I'm gonna stop doing with these last two episodes. Is just stop thinking with reason when it comes to Tyler's show because it doesn't help me. So then we get another scene where we are with Ethan and Jordan. Now, I will say I was kind of puzzled by this scene with those two because if the job with Gary is done, because we all know that Ethan was a plant to plant the listening device, also the one he got those photos that he's using to help keep Andy in his clutches. So I was kind of confused why Ethan is still working for him when technically he works for Gary. But hey, if it makes sense to Tyler and the writers, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. So then Rich came by and Rich went by to let, what's his name, Jordan know what happened at the baby shower, that Gary came in. Gary told everybody that he and Andy are engaged, and Andy confirmed that they are engaged. So now Jordan is kind of questioning this, like, no, after all the stuff that Gary has done, Gary's crazy and all this kind of stuff. Like, why would she go back to Gary? You're asking yourself the right questions, Jordan. You actually are. If you think a little deeper about this, she knows about where your sister is. Like, if you don't put two and two together and realize that Gary is behind everything, but hey, again, Tyler show, we just watching it. So Jordan called up Andy and it went straight to her voicemail. So then in the next scene, we see Zach as he got home and Ms. Rose was there with Michael. So Zach sat down with Michael and just basically told Michael he's going to be a big brother to his little sister and that he wants both of them to be close with each other. Then we move back over to Sabrina. So Sabrina's at home and Rich stops by. So Sabrina asked him, like, what took you so long? She's like, you went by and told Jordan. He's like, yeah, I had to go tell my boy we've been, so he did that. So then Sabrina and Rich sat down, and Sabrina had the conversation with Rich about Damani and the fact that Damani offered to be her sperm donor. So Rich is in his feelings. Rich is jealous, thinking that Damani might want Sabrina. Rightfully so. I definitely think I do see the writings on the wall that that's where they're going to put Sabrina in an entanglement with Damani and Rich, right? But then he says, who just gives up their sperm? I was like, have you never heard of a sperm bank where men go and donate their sperm for women to have children? Rich, you ain't the brightest bulb in the box because you asked Sabrina in a previous episode, was she on birth control? Why would she be on birth control if she is going through the process of IVF? That means to harvest her eggs. If you are on birth control, you're not going to be you're not going to ovulate, you're not going to do any of that. Like, dude, do you not know what birth control is? It's to keep from getting pregnant. She wants to get pregnant. And then you ask who gives up their sperm? Men who go to a sperm bank. Now, is it odd that it's someone that works for the bank? Yes, it's very odd. But I also just think that Rich is just very jealous as well. So then we move over to Tony. He came over to Danny's crib. So Danny is telling him about what happened at the baby shower. He's like, you know what? And let me go get a shower. And then when I come out, you can tell me. So his phone was going off. And I was like, Danny, don't do what I think you're finna do. And she did what I thought she was going to do. Now, I noticed that when the phone was going off, you could see in big letters Tiffany's name. I was like, okay. So Tiffany is reaching out to him. So, and I knew when Danny grabbed the phone and she saw that Tiffany was texting, I knew she was going to play it. I knew it was going to come out that, oh, well, I saw Tiffany. So I thought that maybe something was going on with the kids. So I read the text message, right? Well, in the text message, we find out that Tiffany has sent him some nudes, right? Sent her boobs. And so Danny was questioning him about it. He wants to sit there and call Danny jealous and insecure. I was like, okay. I mean, I'll give you half a point for that because for me personally, I would never go through another person's phone unless you tell me to go through it. If you don't say look at your phone, I'm not looking at your phone. That ain't got nothing to do. What you do on your phone has nothing to do with me. But I didn't agree with him calling her jealous and insecure because your ex-wife keeps referring to you as her husband. If you guys are divorced, then why does she keep referring to you as her husband? Like Tony is not nipping it in the bud, and I think that's the issue for Danny, and it would be an issue for me as well. But you guys let me know what you guys think. But Tony got so pissed off that he ended up leaving Danny's place with butt ass naked, right? So then we move over to Gary and Andy, and they're meeting with this wedding planner. Her name is Addison, and that woman was sitting there looking at. I'm like, do you not see this woman? She's Andy is sitting here so uncomfortable, and I was like, you don't see it, do you, sis? She was like, nope, I don't see it. I was like, oh, okay, because she's telling Andy you got a good one and all this kind of stuff. I was like, girl, no, she don't. That is the devil in disguise. But hey, if you think she got a good one, congratulations. So Addison eventually left. And so Andy was like, can I go? And Gary told Andy before she left to fix her face and nobody gives a damn about how she feels. Oh, Gary. Gary. But then it got even worse. When she was getting ready to leave, he told her to drop her panties so the way he can smell her throughout the day. Then she said it's that time of the month. He still wanted her to drop them panties. I was like, with this with Gary, it just goes from worse to worse to worse. Then we move over to the bank. I really don't care about this, and to be honest with you, Maurice just wanted to know what the mess was with Danny, and not Danny, but with Andy and Gary. Oh, then Sabrina was telling him she had her own issues with Rich. He told her he don't care. I thought she called Damani, but Damani said he called her. Who cares, right? I didn't hear her phone ringing, but it is what it is. But he told her he got his blood work done and it looks like, they'll be good to go. And she was happy. Now, we move over to Karen. Karen is down at the salon. I have so many questions when it comes to Karen and the salon because one minute you see Karen got a lot of clientele in the salon, but her bills are past due. I just don't understand. But hey, it is what it is. So Pam came in. Karen is telling Pam, like, girl, you spent money on my business credit card for yourself. And she was like, I bought some stuff for the salon. She's like, you bought a pillow and a lamp. And so not Pam, but Karen says that she wants a cut out of Pam. And I was like, I don't agree with you asking for a cut, but if she don't, with her storing stuff there and using your business credit card to buy stuff for her business, yes, she owes you money. And then Pam was like, well, I can loan you some money. I was like, girl, no, the hell you cannot loan me nothing when you've used money from my business to fund your business. That's not how that works. Like, girl, if you did that in a real job, your ass will be fired for theft. But okay, again, whatever. Then she said she'll pay it in 8 months. I was like, I know you lying. 8 months and never mind. Moving on. So we see Andy at the office. So Andy got a call from Penelope asking her about Jordan. And she was like, how did you know about that? She said, she was able to convince the FBI into letting her call on Jordan. And so she spoke to Jordan. She said, does this have anything to do with Gary? And, Andy was like, I don't feel comfortable having this conversation with you. And Penelope was like, "Girl, the phone is not bugged." She's like, "You don't know that." Luckily enough, Fatima came in, and so when Fatima came in, she was telling Andy like, I had been thinking about, trying to come up with a plan. Fatima had the only plan that I have. Take that nigga out. Not take him out of Atlanta, take him out permanently. But we'll see what happens. And then we move over to Ms. Marie and Hayden. I really think that this storyline is stupid. Like, it makes absolutely no sense to me. This is your client. Why are you having an affair with your client that you're representing in a divorce? Like, if you guys are trying, like I said last week, you trying to find stuff on her soon to be ex husband, but I'm pretty sure his attorneys can do the same thing with you, Hayden. But again, I'm trying to reason where there is no reason. So she came into his office asking Hayden to go away with her for the week, and he was like, "Okay, cool." He's got to figure out a way to get away. So then she went behind the desk. She was giving him a massage, right? And then her hands started to slowly go down between his legs. And Tamara came in. Now, the receptionist wasn't at her desk. It said she'll be back in 5 minutes. I was like, oh, so Tamara finna catch them in the act. And lo and behold, Tamara caught them in the act. She was calling her all kind of old ladies and all that kind of stuff, just being disrespectful to Ms. Marie. But Ms. Marie gave it back to her just as good as she was giving it to her. Now, am I the only person who caught Tamara saying that she is Hayden's girlfriend and not his wife? I like, y'all forgot that these two got married and never got divorced. They didn't get their marriage annulled because she talked him into staying together. But you know what? It is what it is. Now we move over to Tony and Rich, guys. I really don't like either one of them, but I really don't like Tony. So Tony was telling Rich about the situation with Danny, and he even asked, "Why is Tiffany sending you pictures?" But then he wants to sit here and play off Danny being jealous and insecure. Here's my thing, Tony. Danny wouldn't have a reason to feel anything if you were to nip it in the bud with your ex-wife. When she called you her husband, I think he did say ex-husband, but you need to put boundaries in place. I know you said that you've talked to her and told her that you rocking with Danny. What now? Over a certain age, what the hell does it mean to rock with somebody? I just had that question. Oh, I'm rocking with Danny. No, you either say Danny's my girlfriend or Danny's just somebody that I'm having fun with. But that's really what I think it is. Is Danny is just somebody that Tony's having fun with. Now we find out from Rich, business is booming. He got another place that he's gonna open soon. And Tony asked him, "What did you tell Sabrina?" He says no. So then Rich brought up Sabrina and Damani wanting to give Sabrina his sperm. Now, Tony, you lost me right here at this point when you said to him, "You allowing your girl to have a baby with another man." I was like, "Excuse me, run that back." He's allowing her to do it. Sabrina's a grown woman, so she don't need permission to do anything from Rich. Like, she's gonna do whatever she wants to do. I feel like in this conversation that they were having, because Tony tried to tell Rich, you got this going on for yourself, you got that going on for yourself, da 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 da. Right? I feel like now not Tony, but Rich. Rich is now reevaluating because he said that he feels like Sabrina is the one. I was like, oh, so she's the one now. It's jealousy, dude. Like, be for real. Because you've been so adamant about not wanting kids. Even when you and Sabrina had sex the last time and the condom came off, you were so nervous. Like, dude, you don't want kids. You just don't want Sabrina to have a kid with another man that ain't you, even though you don't want to have kids, period. It's jealousy. Like, I can't with it. I can't with it. I can't with it. I can't with it. But that's it, you guys, with that scene. Then the last scene of the episode we get is Jordan. So Jordan barged into Andy's office and he is demanding answers about this situation between she and Gary. And you guys, that was where the episode ended. Now, let me know what you guys thought about this episode. down in the comments section below, you guys. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I will see you guys for something else. Bye, y'all.